Well, I'll show you, because I have done this on sales training courses. Because what it is it isn't just the technique isn't just happening to the person who's going through it. It's not just about what they're experiencing, but also because these are, as you say, anchors, they are also going into different states, and therefore they are doing what when they move between states? Yeah, so they're anchoring, and those anchors are causing them to experience a particular emotional state.
Social position.
Yes, a little bit. So so for example, when James was accessing a particular emotional state, how did he let us know how he was feeling?
Skin tones.
His skin tone changed, his gestures changed, his voice tone changed. And so therefore, if we get somebody to walk through the levels, they're not only experiencing something for themselves, they are also doing what?
They're modelling it to others.
They're telling us, they're showing us what they're doing. And so, what do you do for a living? And what's your name and where are you from?
Jonathan.
Jonathan? And for a living?
Sales.
Excellent. I thought you might be, because you mentioned about targets.
And churches.
Would you give me a hand for a quick demo?
Yeah,
Is
sure.
it okay with you? What they're talking about with logical levels is we write words on bits of paper and we hand you step on bits of paper on the floor. I won't do that because I don't want stuff down there. Think of the polar bears. So what I'm going to do is, you're familiar with the sales cycle and the stages that you would go through in developing, from first contact with a prospective customer all the way through to closing the sale, perhaps even beyond. What would you say are the main stages of the sales cycle for you?
Identification, qualification, need development, demonstration of proposition, proof of value, proposal, close, deliver.
And was that 7?
Oh, nice.
Identification, needs,
Qualification.
First was identification,
Yeah.
qualification, needs,
Yeah.
developing proposal, demonstrating.
Demonstrate value.
You have to write this down.
I can't remember.
It's unconscious, mate. Let's do it.
Okay. I've got a book in my computer. So, identification, qualification, then
Requirements development.
requirements.
Demonstration of capability.
Demonstration of capability. It was interesting because before you said demonstration proposition, and before you said requirements was need. So if I put down capability and proposition, then
Demonstration to demonstration.
I think I can see the problem
ROI.
already. But,
Proposal.
proposal,
Say decision. Close and deliver.
okay. So, right, got it. Got your sense. So, So, as I say, I think I've spotted a problem already. So, what we're going to do is we're going to step through an imaginary sales process. Doesn't have to be any particular customer or product or anything like that.
Yeah.
But imagine that you're at the identification stage. So this is identifying a prospect. Is that right? So imagine yourself doing that. Imagine how things that you'd be doing, sort of conversations you'd be having. When you're ready, step onto the next part of the sales cycle, which is qualification. Imagine what you're doing when you're qualifying, people you're talking to, kind of things you're thinking about.
Yeah.
When you're ready, step on to developing requirements and needs, understanding needs.
Yeah.
Think about that. When you're ready, then step on to developing demonstrating the capability of the proposition. Okay. And again, think about the kind of things you're working on there. When you're ready, step forward onto demonstrating value and return on investment. Very nice. Think about the kind of things you're doing and the conversations you're having and so on. When you're ready, step on to the proposal. Think about that, how you produce that, what will go into it. When you're ready, step on to the decision. Thinking about, to be careful, there's one.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
When you're ready, step on to the close. Again, think about what closing means, what you're doing, what's the conversations you're having. And one more step on to deliver. Okay, great. Would you come back over here? So, anybody get any clues about which is the step of the sales cycle which Jonathan finds the most challenging?
So the last one.
I didn't think so.
Who's really voice? I can't remember the name, but when he was close there, he was like, okay, I'm thinking about that, and then he moved forward.
So we'll do a bit of mind reading now. What kind of sales are you in?
It's IT sales.
IT sales.
Yeah, so I sell professional services to
Okay.
deliver IT.
So I'm going to do a bit of mind reading.
Mhm.
I'm going to try and guess the part of the sales cycle that's the most challenging for you and why.
Okay.
And if I'm close, if I'm anywhere close, so sorry, but if I'm miles away, then say no.
Okay.
Is the most challenging part for you proving to a potential client that they actually need these services, that there's value, or that somehow you're able to deliver? Is there something you're unsure about your organisation's ability to deliver the services? Is there something around that?
Yes.
Okay. And so when it gets to the bit where the customer says, well, why should we buy from you, and so what, and can you really do it? You're like, oh, I might say yes, but to be honest, I think we've got
It's quite hard work to do that.
Yes. So what did Jonathan do to tell me that that was the issue in the sales cycle?
Did he move quickly to the next part?
He moved fairly evenly between the steps, apart from when he stepped onto the fourth one, demonstrate capability, there was a sudden jump of tension here. It was like a clamming up. It's like, oh, there's something I want to tell you, it's really shit, but I can't. We can't do that, but I'm allowed to say that. Yeah? And then when he stepped onto the next one, demo value, that was the longest that he hesitated before stepping.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, anchoring in a sequence like this, because every state builds on the one that came before, isn't just an experience for the client. You can also use it as a
Indication of the statement.
diagnostic.
It's a corporate diagnostic.
We can. Yeah, we can. And I did this with a bunch of salespeople. They worked in a small engineering company selling machine parts and machine services and stuff. And when it came to, I think it was prospecting, the guy said, I said, just step through so I wrote the bits of the sales cycle on bits of paper, put them on the floor, and said, just step through it, tell me at each stage what you're doing. And he said, oh, I'm doing blah, blah, blah. He actually stepped right over prospecting. He said, oh, prospecting, yes, I know. I said, yes. I think I can see where the problem is. So we can use it as a diagnostic. And you've seen it with logical levels. You've seen it with steps of the sales cycle. What does that tell you about what we write on the paper?
Can be anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Could be anything at all. Could be steps in the patient care process. It could be steps of the coaching session. It could be steps of the project plan. It could be the design elements of the sequence of the workshops that you do. It could be anything, it doesn't matter. Because what we're doing is we're getting somebody to imagine and talk about their experience, and we're constraining their thought process. Because otherwise, if we just sat down with Jonathan, doing some sales diagnosis, and we said to Jonathan, so tell me about, a typical sales cycle with a customer. You would go through it, it would all sound fantastic in content, because content is meant to sound fantastic. We're very good at stringing together words so that they sound intelligent. And we probably wouldn't notice so much the gaps in the bits that he skips over. But when we ask him to step through it, regardless of what he says, and it puts more pressure on him by not asking him to talk. By asking him to think about it only, he will think about things that he wouldn't have said out loud. And that will exaggerate the physical signs that we see. So actually, a little tip for using this style of anchoring diagnostic in business is don't ask somebody to tell you about something where there's some conflict or you suspect some subterfuge or something like that. Ask them to think about it, and their facial expression and their body will tell you. Their words will tell you what they want you to hear.
I think it's interesting because it's something you could use in interviewing a lot. We do it already, but I probably haven't been looking at it in the right way.
Because if we ask somebody what you would do in a particular scenario, an interview, whatever they say, they're saying right. And you can't tell if that's what they really would do or not.
If you were doing that like in a coaching session, could you get them to go through the steps and watch which word had the most kind of physiological reaction or most kind of stigma maybe attached to the word, or how they say the specific word then to identify which part could be the problem. So you could kind of do logical levels, but just using, as you did before with James, just the sentence, and then just kind of draw a line around which is the one.
Of course, yes. And all of this, this isn't providing some mysterious answer. This isn't solving, Jonathan's issues. But what it's doing is it's allowing us to focus very accurately on, let's not waste our time talking about qualification. You're sorted there. Let's focus on where the disconnect is, because that's the bit that's affecting your sales performance. Not all the other stuff's fine. And actually, when you're at the point where somehow it's easy for you to articulate that value, or the client just gets it, the rest is just, they got something. That's easy. So let's only focus on the area where there's a disconnect or a gap, because that's where we can make a difference.